Okay, folks, so here we are again. It is actually 11/5, November 5th. It is 10 p.m. We're just going to go through and take a look at these numbers again. And this election still isn't called. So I'm Ed Kane. This is Conversation in Progress. We're just going to go through and I'll break down those numbers again. Just tell you what the ratio really is, how far we are along in the vote counts, and how close this really is. It's what you call a nail biter. How about that? Uh, so here we go. We're back to this. If you need to, just take a screenshot of this. So we'll be bouncing back between the pictures and this. So right now, uh, last night, if you'll remember, there was about 7,000 lead for Biden in Nevada, and now there's 11,000. He just needs to win 45.6% of the vote here in Nevada, and all that stuff is coming from Clark County, the county where Las Vegas, Nevada is, and he's been winning that by almost 80%. So Nevada looks like a lock, even though it's only 89% counted. Arizona, interesting. Remember, McCain State, um, and Trump was particularly mean to McCain's memory, to everything about him, just because he didn't want to destroy uh, the Affordable Care Act because there was no replacement for it. So uh, said a lot of mean things about veterans, and Arizona rose up. And how poetic that they're going to be one of the nails in his coffin. Look, it seriously looks like at 80%, at 90% counted, Biden is ahead by 46,000 votes. Um, Out of the total ballots, he just needs to win 42.32% of the remaining ballots that are coming in, which are a lot. There's 301,000 projected based on this 90%. Michigan has been called, and you can see a negative number. He'd have to lose 84% of, he'd have to lose more than even exist. That's why you can call it. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is interesting. There are still 390,000 votes, almost 400,000 votes remaining. It is 94% counted. Um, and out of those 390,000, Biden would have to make up 42,000. So what is that? He'd have to make, of the total here of the 390, you have to make 216, or 55%. And guess what? This is interesting because when you look into uh, Pennsylvania here, where are these things being counted? 87% counted, 89% in Philadelphia County. All these areas here, I don't know why they can't get their count in, but 87 and 89. So of the blue and Allegheny, oh, is up to 95 now. So, but Crawford County, but it's a tiny thing, right? Like 30,000. But if you're over in Philadelphia, we're talking about 600, over 600,000 votes in this Philadelphia area. So, if you kind of lay that out there, what's the chances that he only wins 55%? Actually, he's coming in, he's winning more like 70%. So we'll keep watching that. Count the vote, right? As they're chanting in Nevada, count the vote. But in Pennsylvania, Trump supporters are saying, stop the vote, right? It's ridiculous. This is a little bit of an inside joke if you're not up on this. Trump supporters can be wherever Trump is ahead. They want anything to do to grind those gears down, slow it all down, and say, okay, we won, right? We won, like stopping the game in the third, in the eighth inning of a baseball game. So here we are, North Carolina. North Carolina up to 95%. This one is probably going to stay in Trump's camp, but you don't know. The difference is 76,000, 95% counted. That's 76,000 out of 269,000. So Biden would need 173,000 thousand or 64% of that vote. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, but look at this in Georgia. We are 99% counted. There is less than 2,000 votes difference. And where are those votes? Let's come back here. Let's take a look at Georgia. Georgia, oh. Here we are. Fulton County, 95% of the votes. Look at that. Look at those numbers. 73% of the votes coming in. So 5% of this district, right? 5% of Cobb County, 90%, 99%, 95. So of these three blue counties right there in this little area, right? But a lot of other areas, 99% counted. A lot of the red parts of the state, 99% counted. Most of the blue areas in every other area, there's how to pronounce Macon County or Masson County. Macon probably, huh? So Warren County, everywhere, pretty much 99% of the vote counted. But these few blue districts, where what do? They grind down the whole electoral process in these places. They make it so that people have to wait in line for hours. They make everything difficult about counting votes in these areas, and now they just slow everything down. So when you see the percentages on the spreadsheet, we are not counting Jorgensen and any write-ins. We're just looking at the percentages of the two leaders, which is the only people that really matter. You can look at those because it's not really it's not a vote out of a percentage. It's a vote between these two. So that's the way the system works. So here we are, Georgia. You'd have to make up under 2,000 votes, all in serious blue districts. There are 48,000. You have to make up. You just have to come in at under 52% of the vote to get that area. So look at that. So there we are. So just take a look, take a breath. Don't worry about too much. We're only off by, there's a little bit of counting left to do. But hopefully we're going to find out, we're going to get an answer to one of these by tomorrow. Arizona is pretty difficult for Biden to lose, but I mean, it's possible. He has to lose. Trump has to get 58% of the vote. I mean, it's possible. Actually, let's look at that one for a real quick moment here. If you go over to Arizona, where are those outstanding votes? So this is easier to see because, so there you got a few places where big red areas, but 88% of this area, which is 62% for Biden, 89%, 95% coming in there. So the whole state has a few things, however they're counting. So, I mean, something like this, I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible, but again, we're talking about making up a gap of 46,000 votes. Pretty difficult, but like I say, not impossible. These odds are not impossible. So, but if everything turned against Biden, we'd be looking at this weird map where we got 253 to 270, whatever, the 287 there. If everything turned around, and it does not look like it's going to do that. Looks impossible. So obviously not ready to call it. Too close to call, as they say. But we should have some information tomorrow. Even if we just get any two of these states, and it's over. Actually, Pennsylvania alone could make it over, I believe. So there you go. So keep your hopes up. It's difficult. It's difficult that we have this system. We really have to look at why? Here's the real kicker. Here's the Biden votes so far. 73,648,000. 69 million Trump votes. 619,000. So far a 4 million gap. So if Trump did pull this out, he will have lost the popular vote by over 4 million. Tell me that stands in a world where it's not weak Democrats fighting against, so it's Republicans that are down or that are up 4 million votes and they lose the electoral college. Tell me how long that electoral college sits around. It does not make it through that electoral season. But I mean, you gotta recognize that the game is stacked against you, and then you've got to make this stuff happen. Do you want to win, or do you want to let you know? Al Gore technically won the Florida recount, but they stopped the Florida recount. He was ahead. Um, you can look into it. Look at the numbers. They stopped the recount. They didn't ask for a statewide recount. It's a total mess. And look what we got. Just formerly the worst president, George W. Bush. Now he looks pretty good compared to Trump. Right? How you like me now, right? Is the joke, right? So you can't. I mean, he's a terrible president. You have to look at it objectively. At the end of his 8 years, we had a total economic collapse in the United States based on pushing mortgages on people that couldn't afford them. Silly. And what do you know, right? And then Obama brings it back up, and we've got this skyrocketing economy. Trump comes in and he takes credit for everything that Obama did. He does a few things here and there. He lowers the corporate tax rate, he lowers the income tax rate for millionaires and billionaires, juices the stock market a little bit, and then totally collapses it in the face of a pandemic that killed almost 250,000 people and it disabled many people and has made millions sick. Come on. So you got and the economy's in shambles. So give me a break, right? So you've got this pattern of Republicans destroying the economy and now health, and Democrats cleaning it up and then taking the blame for everything. Because watch this. I mean, there's going to be, if Biden wins, we're going to be looking at a kind of a austerity government where you've got the Senate stopping all progress on stimulus, on efforts to try to fix this economy, to try to stop things from going under. No, they want it to go under, and it'll be Biden's crash. It'll be Biden's depression, right? So, I think Trump could own this one because he's the one that did it. But Democrats have a great way of pouring egg all over their own faces. So there you go. As you can see, not impressed with some of their shenanigans. I don't know. It ends up that being an independent that always votes Democratic, it's just disappointing, right? Um, so here we go. Let's take a look at this tomorrow. Hopefully, we get some answers for you, and stay positive. Keep the pressure on. Get ready to stop a coup if there happens to be something crazy go on. It looks very difficult for this to go any other way than for Biden to win, but always possible. I mean, and of course it's possible because he is behind in three of these states. But if he just holds these leads, which it looks like it will based on where these leads are, you get a completely different view. This is how much we're in 88% of Clark County. So Clark County again is a big deal, but the whole of the state is a little bit behind. A few places have, but look at how small number of votes these are versus 800,000 votes here in Clark County. So there you go, a couple 100,000 here. That was very close in Washoe County, but here we go. But this is where the big Democratic center is. In fact, this is probably a pickup. I don't know if this always goes Democratic. I doubt it. But hey, you know, there is no reason for these rural areas to actually support Republicans. They don't do anything for the rural areas. They essentially destroyed the soybean market for them, have a trade war, and lost a trade war for them. Yeah. Anyways, this is a whole bunch of nonsense. One last look at this. Oop. One last look at this. 4 million votes. That's all you need to know. All right, folks. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.